Good evening. Welcome, Om Shanti. Welcome to our course on Raja Yoga meditation in a nutshell. It's all about how to experience peace, inner strength, and wisdom through yoga for the mind. Um, just wanted to double check if the voice is audible for everyone.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, great. The present time has inspired many of us to look at life from a different perspective. It has inspired us to go within, look inside, and connect to our inner sense of security, our inner resources. And the best way to do that is meditation. And so in this course, we will try and learn and experience how to tap into that inner power, that inner silence that creates a shift in our life, that creates a shift in the way we look at life. It creates a shift in how we experience life. The other day we were discussing that there are two words. The first word is experience, and generally we use this word a lot, experience, right? The other word that we were thinking and discussing was the word insperience. So experience is something which is sometimes based on what is coming outside, from outside. And insperience is something that I'm feeling within. So when I'm in my insperience, then I can be an inspiration. I can be an inspiration of being at peace, being stable, being wise in these times. So this is a 4-part course. As you can see here, part 1 is today we will discuss about consciousness and thoughts, which basically allows us to learn how to be positive in all situations of life, and how consciousness and thoughts are the invisible energy that allow us to be either positive or negative. It creates our perspective. The second part, which is tomorrow, will be a journey inwards, where we will take up from the first session and try and go deeper and understand and experience the beauty of our inner world. Understand my own original qualities and how can I relate to them? How can I experience them? Understand the inner dynamics of consciousness, and create a recipe for a very peaceful and happy mind, irrespective of whatever is happening outside. And part 3 is, once we have rediscovered our true self, then there is a beautiful relationship that we begin to experience. It's our relationship with the higher being, with the divine, or with God. And discovering and experiencing that relationship allows us to see this world from God's perspective. It allows us to fill our mind with the love of the divine, and that empowers the soul. And when with that relationship, then in the last part, We will look at time and transformation. What is the journey of time? What is the outlook of eternal perspective of time, and how that time is now inspiring us to transform? So understanding the importance of current time and the corresponding role we should play. Okay, so we will start the course. We will have a few breaks in between where we will do some practices, some realization experiences, and towards the end, we'll open it up for questions and answers. Okay. Okay. So looking at consciousness and thoughts, the first word we look at is we're learning meditation. Meditation. And if we just look at the word meditation and we take out the first T in the spelling, and if I replace it, as you all know, with a C. So meditation is like a medication. Medication is for the body, healing the body, and meditation is for healing the mind. So meditation heals the mind. These days, a lot of emphasis is on developing medication, right, for the virus. But meditation is really the medication to kill the virus of negativity, to kill the virus of body consciousness, to kill the virus of anger, greed, lust, attachment, ego. All these energies also operate in the same way as the virus operates. And as on a physical level, the attention is towards developing a medication for that. Now, on a spiritual level, the emphasis is on developing a medication, which is meditation. It's like training my mind. So we call it yoga, yoga for the mind. There is yoga for the body, and there is yoga for the mind. So meditation is yoga for the mind. Yoga is all about proper alignment. Physical yoga deals with aligning the body in such a way that it allows the natural functioning to take place automatically, which is the healthy self. And in the same way, yoga for the mind is to align the mind in my truth, in my eternity, that allows my mind, that allows my feelings, that allows my emotions to be healthy, to not be contaminated by any virus or any negativity from outside. So looking at meditation as a medication to heal the mind. Sorry. So it's a little paragraph, and it's just a combination of words. And if I invite you to read this paragraph, it might be a bit difficult to read this paragraph, right? Do you think, is it easy or is it difficult to read this paragraph? Anyone would like to take a chance on this? Feel free to, you can unmute and just take a chance to. So it's just a combination of words, letters, alphabets. If I present the same paragraph in a different form, in this form, now it is very easy to read this paragraph. Now the difference between the first and the second paragraph It's the same words, but the difference is the space. The space, the commas, and the punctuation marks, full stops. So if I compare each alphabet or each letter, each word, like a thought in my mind. So many a times what happens is there is one thought, then another thought, then another thought. And it is very difficult to make meaning of my thought pattern. And then sometimes when it happens over and over again, I might feel confused, and it creates heaviness in the mind that leads to stress and anxiety and fear. Now just putting this silence, now the silence, the space of silence is what comes through the practice of meditation. So meditation is that space of silence that I experience in between my thoughts. So the mind is silent, and a silent mind works in clarity. It doesn't work in confusion. So meditation is a medication for the mind. The process is to add that little space that allows my mind to function with clarity. Another way to look at meditation is through this image, which says either my mind is full, which is Full, or I am mindful with a single L. So the difference between mindful and being mindful is that when I am mindful, when my mind is full of thoughts of the world outside, then I feel heavy inside. Then I'm living in that bubble that I've created for myself. And that bubble is formed of the story, the roles, the characters. This bubble is formed of the insecurities related to that role, maybe fears, maybe temporary happiness or pleasures, but all the feelings that are related to the role, And when my mind is filled with that, when the mind is full, then I feel it to be heavy. Versus I am mindful means my mind is working in silence, in clarity, and then I am able to be myself in the present moment, and I'm mindful of whatever is happening. So I'm easily detached and also involved. So the word that we use is detached involvement. Detached involvement. It's not an attached involvement. So with a sense of detached involvement, I'll be doing everything, but with a sense of not being emotionally trapped. Not being emotionally trapped in people, in possessions, in circumstances. That I can easily take charge of my mind. So being mindful, being in clarity. Another example to understand this is the water in the boat, or is the boat in the water? In the journey of life, which is a symbol of, boat in the water and boat moving forward, if the water comes inside the boat, then the boat will sink. But if the boat is in the water, then the boat is able to move forward easily. So being mindful with a single L is when the boat is in the water and moving very easily. Another way to look at meditation is meditation acts like an inner compass to give me direction. So whenever if I feel confused in my mind, whether should I do this or that, whenever I have to make a decision, it's important that I recalibrate my mind, tune in to the reality, to the inner silence. And when my mind is functioning properly, a clear direction will come from within. So just like in ships, they need that direction. They have a compass. So how the compass works is the compass is aligned to the gravitational field of the earth. And because it is aligned, it is able to get the direction at any given point of time. So what meditation allows me to do is to align my energy with the divine energy, with the universe in such a way that I am able to comprehend where the time is moving, where the universe is moving, and how do I align myself, what decision I need to make in my life. So meditation works as an inner compass. Another way we look at meditation is that meditation allows me to live from inside out. Generally, we work from outside in, meaning whatever is happening outside influences my thoughts and my feelings. But through the practice of meditation, I'm able to strengthen my inner core such that I am able to be a positive, peaceful presence in the world outside, rather than the world influencing my state of being. So, inside out. In this time, we are all inside. So, we are physically inside, but it's an opportunity for us to be mentally inside our true self, and feel that inner peace. So, with that, let us take a few moments to go into an experience. And this experience is of going inside. This is the first step in meditation, is to disconnect from the world outside and reconnect to my world inside. So sitting quietly, I take a moment to be aware of the external energy around me. I'm aware of my body. I'm aware of my breath. And very gently, let me feel that the world outside is like a story. It's like a story. Even right now, as we are sitting, it's all a part of the story. And that world of story has a lot of players, a lot of characters, including me. But I understand that my inner world, my inner space, my inner compass is important for me. So I take this time to slowly disconnect from the body, just feeling that each and every part of the body is slowly becoming lighter and lighter, as if the physical energy is transforming into a subtle energy. I feel the body becoming lighter as I focus on my breath. I slowly connect to my inner world. From being within the story, I just choose to step inside myself. Just going inside. Just feeling that there is a room inside of my mind, and I have stepped inside that room. And within that room, I feel safe, unperturbed by the world outside. And the world outside includes my own body, includes the various roles that I play in my life. It includes the situations around me at this time. I very gently choose to step inside the inner room and close the door. I am within myself. I am within. A space of silence. Om Shanti. So this is the first step in meditation, is to just acknowledge the world inside and step inside that inner world, disconnecting from the external, coming back to the internal. Power lies within. Power lies within. Power lies in the essence, not in the expansion. Okay, so now we move forward and we look at the word Raj Yoga meditation. So the word Raja actually means a king, and the word yoga means communication. So Raja Yoga meditation is a form of communication between my real self and the divine, the supreme energy, through which I become the master of my sense organs, through which I become the master of my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions. And just like in these images, it is shown that in the first image, like a yogi, his inner light is lit up, and yogi is aware of the supreme light. And through that connection, we're able to reclaim our sovereignty over my body, over my sense organs. And through that experience, I become like a lotus. It's like my life becomes like a lotus, detached and loving, being in the dirt, but still above it, and an inspiration and an example. So it all begins when we have tapped into the inner world. We become aware of the energy of consciousness, and the unit of energy of the consciousness is a thought. The sign of life is thinking, to be able to think. So thought is the energy of consciousness. So in meditation, I pay a lot of attention on the kind of thoughts that I am creating. So thought is an energy that I am creating. Thought is like my children. Thoughts are like my children. The scientific research shows that in one day, we generally tend to create around 50 to 60,000 thoughts. Everything begins with a thought. If there is no thought, nothing can happen. And so meditation is all about then enhancing the quality of my thoughts. The quality of my thoughts. A thought could be a thought of anger or a thought of peace. It could be a thought of greed or a thought of contentment. It could be a thought of attachment or a thought of love. It could be a thought of criticism or a thought of empathy. So let my thoughts be filled with inner peace, inner love, inner compassion. So this is the process of meditation allows me to shift my thinking, my thoughts. So generally, if we have to describe thoughts in different ways, there are 4 ways. Mundane thoughts, positive thoughts, negative thoughts, and wasteful thoughts. Mundane thoughts are thoughts that are necessary in life, like daily routine thoughts. Positive thoughts are constructive thoughts. Constructive thoughts are, if in my interaction there is respect, there is love, then it creates a beautiful relationship. It's a constructive thought. A negative thought, on the other hand, is a destructive thought. If I interact with someone else or even with myself in anger, then I am destroying, in a way, that relationship. It's a destructive thought. And then we have a waste thought. A waste thought just comes and wastes my time. It comes and wastes my time. So during the day, there are so many different thoughts, and a majority of our thoughts are actually waste thoughts. That's what the studies say. Waste thoughts are thoughts that end with a question mark. Why me? Why not somebody else? Waste thoughts are like, how will this happen? What about this? So any thought that ends with an exclamation mark or a question mark, it's generally a wasteful thought. So these are the different types of thoughts, and the quality of thoughts is inversely proportional to the speed of thoughts. Means if I have high quality thoughts, thoughts of peace, thoughts of kindness, thoughts of unconditional love and belonging, thoughts of respect, those thoughts are generally very slow. And thoughts of anger, impatience, anxiety, fear have a very large speed, very fast. So just by the speed of thoughts, I can understand where in the spectrum of thoughts am I operating. Am I operating in a low quality of thoughts or a high quality of thoughts? And meditation allows us to reduce the speed of thoughts and enhance the quality of thoughts. So how do I manage thoughts from a negative to a positive? How do I change the direction of thoughts? And for that, we say it's like a inner traffic control. Just like we have traffic lights outside to channelize the traffic better. In the same way, we can create an inner traffic light. It's like a red, yellow, and green. So red means stop, yellow means observe, and green means steer. So whenever I feel that my thoughts are very fast, so what I need to do, I just need to first put a stop. Stop, just put a break, stop. Now I observe. Observe. And this is a very important step in meditation, is to observe. It's just to be detached and just observe my thoughts. Just observe my thoughts. Just observe the story from a distance, as if it is happening to somebody else. Observation is a practice that allows me to take control of myself. Otherwise, it allows, if I'm not observing, then I'm absorbing. And once I've observed, then I regain the power to redirect my thoughts in the right direction, which is called steer. So I stop, I observe, and I steer. So with that, we come to the second practice. After we have experienced disconnection from the world outside, going inside, now the second practice is that of a detached observer of my own thoughts. So we'll take a few moments right now, coming back into my mind, the room inside my mind, stepping inside it very gently. And then I feel that there is a screen in the room. And that screen has a projection of my thoughts. I just become aware of my thoughts. Just become aware of what is happening in my mind without any judgment. Without any judgment. Without judging the quality of my thought. I'm just being aware of my thinking. Just being aware of what kind of thoughts are coming. These thoughts will come and go. Come and go. I just become a silent observer. A silent observer. As if these thoughts are coming in someone else's life. I'm just observing very silently. And this observing allows me to create a separation between myself and my thoughts. I'm separate from my thoughts. I'm the master who's creating these thoughts. Om Shanti. Next, we'll look at how are thoughts created. So when we start to observe, how do we make that shift from a negative or a wasteful to a positive thought? So to understand, I just try and look at the process of creation of a thought. And for that, we look at the two of the most important words that rule our lives. And those two words are I am. I am. Why? Because whatever we put after it becomes my reality. I am. Third word becomes my reality. I am good. I am right. I am wrong. So the experience in my mind And the quality of my thoughts are directly related to the sense of identification that I create. I am peace. If I feel I am peace, I automatically create thoughts of peace. If I feel I am stressed, then automatically I start to feel heavy. So I am are the two most important words, for what you put after them shapes your reality. Shapes your reality. And during the day, I lose my sense of this identity in so many different ways. In so many different ways. A nice example that we study for to understand this and how it impacts my thoughts is, for example, if a friend come to my home, and I've bought a new um, flower vase, and it's very beautiful, and I've spent a lot of money, and I really feel that it's a masterpiece. And the friend comes and says that, "Oh, beautiful, Saurabh, this is so nice. Uh, um, I really love it. Where did you buy it from? Tell me, I'll also buy it." Then I'll start to have thoughts of happiness, and I'll feel happy, and I'll feel that this friend is a good friend. Now another day, another friend comes and just completely ignores that vase. So I'll start to feel that, oh no, this friend has started to ignore me. The third day, another friend comes and says, "No, this is it's like a very ugly looking vase. Where did you buy it from? You wasted a lot of money." So suddenly I'll start to feel a sense of um, displeasure, a sense of not very comfortable feelings toward the other person. Now, all three people are giving their perspective, their opinion about an object. And I feel that they're giving an opinion about me, because in that moment, I feel I am that was, our was. I've given myself away to that object. And that has become my reality. That's why it is affecting my thoughts. So the sense of I am affects my thoughts. And so when I relate to myself in the limited role that I'm playing, the role has a name, the role has an age, the role has an occupation, the role has a nationality, the role has all the insecurities around it. So if anything happens to the role, I feel it is happening to me, and I begin to create corresponding thoughts. So the biggest thing that as humanity that we have forgotten is our true identity, real identity. And as I was growing up, I always used to ask myself, who I really am. Who am I? Where did I come from, and what will happen to me after this life? What is this whole life about? Who am I really? Why am I here? Am I just my name? My name could have been a different name, but I am still the same person. They say, am I this body? Say each cell in the body changes completely after every 5 years. But I don't change. I am the same person. So who am I really? So understanding of who I really am is important in order to transform my thinking. If I'm experiencing thoughts of negativity, it means that I'm operating from a sense of false identification, which is called illusion. And a very easy way to change my thoughts is to identify to my true inner being that resonates with peace, that resonates with truth, that resonates with love, happiness. And that automatically changes my thoughts to thoughts of kindness, compassion, acceptance. So let me work on that, understanding who I really am. So to enhance that understanding, we appreciate there are two energies in life. One is the energy of matter, which is the visible energy, which has volume, density, mass, size, etc. And the other is the energy of consciousness, which is the invisible energy that is running the matter, that is holding the matter, that is giving life to the matter. And that invisible energy, what we call the energy of consciousness, has awareness, memory, creativity, reasoning, decision making. It observes, there is intuition, it has opinions, it has imagination. All these aspects are invisible. We don't see them, but they shape my reality. They shape what I am feeling right now, what I'm experiencing right now. So when these two energies come together, life is born. And when these two energies depart, is when we call it as death. So we call ourselves human being. Human is the matter, and being is the consciousness. Human is the matter, being. So these two energies are very different. One is visible, completely visible, matter, and the being is completely invisible. So my sense of identification, who am I? Do I identify myself with the physical, anything of the physical? Or do I identify myself with the metaphysical? Do I identify myself with the visible or the invisible? It's like everything in life has a visible aspect and an invisible aspect. In a room, we see light, we see a bulb, we see a fan, we see different devices. They are visible. But what is invisible are the electric currents that are flowing in the wires. I switch it on, and then it lights up. So understanding and appreciating the invisible part of life, everything that we really care for in life and we want to experience is invisible. We want to experience love, it's invisible. Respect is invisible. My own being, the energy of life, is invisible. God, invisible. It's all invisible. So who am I? This is the single most important question that I need to stabilize in the reality of. Who am I visible is illusion. Who am I invisible is reality. So meditation, what we're trying to understand here is meditation is very simply an act of repositioning, realigning my mind from the visible into the invisible. So when I say, who am I? So I am that invisible light that animates this mask. That animates this mask. So suppose tomorrow if I meet with an accident and the doctors take me to the operation theater, they will say, bring Saurabh in. Unfortunately, if I don't survive, they cannot say take Saurabh out. They will say take the body out. So what happened? That Saurabh suddenly became a body. So what happened was the invisible energy that was ruling Saurabh, that was animating Saurabh, suddenly left. So who am I? Who am I? Am I the external role, Saurabh? Or am I an actor, an invisible observer that comes into the life of Saurabh and animates this life? So to the instant I shift my awareness to myself being an invisible, silent energy, which we call as a soul, a spirit. Who am I? I am metaphysical, beyond physical. I am a being of consciousness residing within the body of matter. I am a soul. I am a soul. It's a soul, source of universal love. The moment I become aware of myself as a soul, I start to look at the physical with a vision of acceptance. Because this invisible energy is an energy of peace. It's an energy of love. We are all these tiny beings of light, metaphysical light, invisible energy. So let us take this moment to experience myself. So I see my life as a movie, a story, and I see this being, this person who has a name, who has a job, who has responsibilities, lists everything as a story. That's the role. And I am a being of light. I am a soul. I am a soul. I cannot be seen through the physical eyes. So I experience a point of light at the center of my forehead. This is my control room. This is where I shine. I'm a point of peace. I'm a point of love. I'm just a point. There's nothing I can lose. My only purpose in this life is to give. By just being myself. Being myself. I'm beyond this physical body of 5 elements of matter. I animate this body. And just like me, everyone here in this meeting is a being of light. Every person that I know of is a being of light. They're not the masks, but they are the actors behind the masks. They're not the car, but the driver who is driving the car. Just observing, appreciating this light that was ignored completely. This light allows me to reignite a sense of meaning in my life, sense of purpose in my life. The only purpose is to be myself and enjoy this life, enjoy every moment. As a soul, I'm completely secure because my existence is permanent. I cannot die. No one in this world can die because everyone is eternal being of light. It's just the temporary body will take birth and die. But every being is eternal, immortal, real, living lights. This energy is so pure that it doesn't know how to harm anyone. This energy has childlike innocence, purity, sacredness. We are all these living lights. Just being in this experience allows me to feel full of my divinity. Om Shanti. Om Shanti means, Om means I am, and Shanti means peace. So I am peace. So thank you. With that, we would like to open up to any questions. Anyone would like to give any thoughts, share any thoughts, please feel free to. Or any things you want to write in the chat box, feel free to. You can try and unmute yourselves and share a few thoughts. Anyone? Does it kind of make sense, all of what we have been discussing? Any questions anyone would have? I hope you're able to unmute. Would be nice to hear a few voices. Maybe, yeah, anyone.
Om Shanti Saurabhai. Can you explain a little bit about the matter? You know, there is a consciousness and the matter and the energy you were talking about, I'm kind of wondering about the matters.
It's like matter is the physical energy, and soul is the metaphysical energy. It's just like water. We see water, it has two atoms of hydrogen, one atom of oxygen. So the physical is H and O, but the bond energy that keeps them together is the invisible energy. So in the same way, the five elements like earth, water, air, fire, and ether or space are the matter. But the soul is the bond energy. The soul holds this body together. When the soul departs, the body disintegrates. So matter is so when the soul is born, when the soul takes birth, enters a womb of a mother, then the soul's energy allows the matter to be redirected around it, to be formed around it. So the soul is holding the matter together. When the soul departs, the matter disintegrates. So the soul is the master. The soul is ruling. But when I forget that I am the master, then I become slave to the physical energy. And then whatever happens in the physical world has an impact on my consciousness. Does that answer your question, Meenabeth?
I'm still confused, Saurabh, because when you have two of them, that you were means when you were explaining, the one is consciousness, and that is like the memory awareness that we cannot able to see. Okay, but the other one is, I'm kind of the talking about the matters. So you have a volume, density.
Yes. Like the body is matter, right? Body has a volume, body has a density. It's matter. So anything physical, whatever we can see through the eyes is matter.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to share?
Shanti, I would like to add over here something.
Yes, please.
Like you said, whatever we see through eyes is matter. So that matter is seen by the visible, is seen by the invisible. So physical is seen by metaphysical, which is very subtle, as we have forgotten who we are. So we are more inclined towards physical because that is easily seen and understood. So that needs to be learned very consciously, how to see physical in a metaphysical way. I don't know whether it is right or wrong.
No, that's absolutely. And that's what spirituality is all about. To see the physical from a subtle perspective. And not from an obvious physical perspective, from a subtle. So I can look the mask into the soul.
And one question from my end, I posted. I would like to share, ask, when souls come in Gyan, they come to know all this first chapter and all, right? So slowly and gradually, it takes almost more than 6 months or year or more than that to understand exactly what Gyan is. But the thing is, they come to know about different type of thoughts, as you said, mundane, waste, and positive thoughts and all, right? Now the soul understood that there are these many types of thoughts and has also learned how to segregate them. But the question is how to reduce the speed of the thought and number of thoughts.
Right.
So I want you to explain that.
Expand on that. So essentially the speed of thoughts is the SOS principle: stop, observe, and steer. So I first stop. So just like I put a brake, right? I stop. So it means that I just tell my mind, okay, let me step back. Okay, let me take a breath, right? I take some time, and then I observe. Means I look at where the thought is coming from. It is coming from some kind of identification of myself that I'm holding on to in my mind. And then the way to change it is then I gently reposition my sense of self-respect to who I am eternally, rather than who I am temporarily. A very easy way to do that is to, just stretch time in my mind and see, okay, if this thought that is bothering me, how much importance will it have after 5 years, after 10 years, after a lifetime, in my next birth? Right? So then suddenly I start to operate from the level of the soul rather than the body, rather than the role. So any wasteful or negative thought comes from body consciousness, role consciousness. Any pure and positive thought originates from soul consciousness. So the way to change the speed is to be aware of the soul, the energy of the soul. And that's why many times a day it's important to just reflect and understand who I really am. I am a soul. I am a soul. Thank you. I think Darlene wanted to ask something. Are you trying to unmute yourself, Darlene? Thank you. Yeah. Do you have something to ask, Darlene, or add? Thank you. Thank you. Oh, you were typing. Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Maybe anyone else, if you have any thoughts, those who have joined us for the first time, anyone would like to share anything, especially first timers? Okay. So, yeah, if you don't have any other thoughts, maybe we can take a moment and thank you everyone for joining. Really appreciate your time. And tomorrow we'll meet again at 7:30 and we'll take it up from here. How to develop this attitude of being a soul in our life and how that changes our life. So we'll take a moment and part company. Okay, thank you everyone for joining and have a good night. Om Shanti.
Good
Om
night.
Shanti.
Thank you. Thank
Om
you.
Shanti.
Thank you, Surabhai. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Thank you, Saurabhai.
Oh, thank you, Neeraj Bhai. The whole family is there. Very nice to
Yeah,
see.
all kids.
Very nice.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Okay.
Om Shanti.